Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lovers of sports from all across the world, welcome once again to the finest 1 hour of sports anywhere on Nigerian TV. It's time for Game On here on News Central Television. My name is Babatunde Koiki. Thank you again for joining us, because we know that you could be doing anything, anywhere in the world where you are right now, but you have decided to spend the next 1 hour with us as together we traverse the world of sports, Nigeria, Africa, and beyond. Don't forget, Game On is streaming live on YouTube and also on our social media handles as well. The handle is right there on your screen. It's at News Central TV. And of course, you can join us anywhere you are in the world. Welcome once again. It's a full house tonight. It's Monday, and together we'll be celebrating what has been the successful end, somewhat dramatic end of the MPFL season 2023-2024. We'll also be having a special guest, two special guests, I beg your pardon, one from Atlanta and one from San Juan, Puerto Rico, joining us tonight to talk about athletics and basketball, respectively. And of course, we'll be talking about the European Championships as well. But without further ado, let me quickly start with the guys here in the studio to my far right, always looking as if he's going to a party after the show. I'm talking about none other than Okpe Adebari. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always a pleasure to be here, boss.
Thank you.
Sure. We're sort of twinning.
No, we're not twinning. We're not twinning. And thankfully, Wale Adegu is not here because he always likes to call me the ice cream man. I don't know what that means, but I take it as a compliment, saying that just look good enough to eat. Yeah, thank you.
The shade of the
You don't do. Thank you. Thank you. And also beside him is, of course, is our very own Onyinye Obaro, always bringing a wonderful touch and a great perspective to things. News Central's finest. Thank you so much for joining us again tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's good to be at the side of the table.
Yeah, looking particularly, do I say, well, yeah, okay. Do you know the new Nigerian national team? Because you're looking particularly patriotic tonight.
Nigeria, we hail the
loving the white and green. But thank you again for joining us. And of course, beside me is a man of no mean repute. He's the deputy editor of one of Nigeria's finest newspapers. I'm talking about Sporting Life. He's also a man of immense wisdom and experience. And our good friend, always on the show. Oh yeah, you're nodding. You're shaking your head. I mean, you have immense wisdom and experience, don't you?
I don't know. You know, you say a lot of things about me. Last time,
glowing things.
Last time it was Onyeki who said so many things. I was just asking myself, are you guys really talking about me?
We absolutely we love you.
Yes, I love you. You know, but last week I almost organized a search party for you. You were nowhere to be found. We agreed that you were going to, do the needful.
Well, so what can I say?
Devout Muslim.
It is known as force majeure. Sometimes some things are beyond your control.
But when the desirable is not available, it becomes desirable.
Only with you, Chukwukelu, is here with us in the studio. If I do not say this, we will not move on. But I assure you, we will discuss this off camera. I promise you. Well, let's start the show tonight on an athletic note, a golden note, as Nigeria's women's 4x100 team put in excellent work to secure a valuable gold medal on day 4 of the ongoing African Athletics Championships in Douala, Cameroon. Fun fact, since 2018, the Nigerian women's 4x100 team have never lost this event at the African Championships. So congratulations to them. And every time that Nigeria has won it, it has been with Toby Amuson in the rank. So she's a good luck charm, that's for sure. Elsewhere, the quartet of Konyisola Ajoyi, Usheoritse, Itsekiri, and Alaba, Akintola, and Ese Brume finished second in the men's 4x100 meter final at the African Championships. Ghana won gold in a time of 38.46 seconds. Meanwhile, Nigeria's fastest male quarter miler in 2024, Emmanuel Ojeli, finished in a time of 45.47 seconds to win a bronze medal in the men's 400 meters as well. There's also, of course, Ese Brume, also winning another African title as well. But joining us now all the way from Atlanta, the ATL in the USA, to speak about Nigeria's ongoing performance at the African Athletics Championships is our own good friend Deji Ogengbo, who is also country manager of Making of Champions, Nigeria's finest sports marketing and promotion company. I mean, you have to be a big man to be country manager in Nigeria, but you're based in the USA. You're doing something right, my friend. But welcome to the show tonight, Deji. So far, so good. Have you been pleased with how Nigeria have performed at these championships? Has it been to your liking, or could you have done more? We can't hear you. I think your mic is still muted. You want to unmute that?
Good evening.
There you go. Well
Can you hear
done.
me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Great. It's a pleasure to be on the show again. I wouldn't say I've been so pleased with the championship so far, but it's gotten better for Team Nigeria, right from the shambolic organization of the competition itself from Cameroon, who were meant to host it in 2022 when Mauritius held the fort for them, and they had 2 years to plan for it, and it's literally meant nothing. And this is a country that actually put up a good show when they hosted the AFCON in 2022 January, and now athletes or some of the top guns in track and field from Africa are complaining, the likes of Letsile Tebogo, the likes of Marie-José Talu, Favour Fili, all of these guys had pulled out or complained one way or the other. But regardless, Nigerians have still found a way to put up a very good team.
But hold on, just to stop you there, I'm really sorry to cut you short, Deji. That's scandalous. If you're telling me that some of Africa's biggest, best athletes are pulling out of Africa's #1 athletics competition, that's a scandal. And they're doing this, if I get you right, they're doing this because they're complaining about the quality of the organization. Do I get that correct?
Absolutely. I mean, you could go on their Twitter pages, go see Mario Jesadu complaining. Letsile Tebogo granted an interview about the poor organization, the waiting time, them using wooden pads to
instead of a starter gun, they were using wooden planks, clapping it together. I hear some athletes had to take a Okada or downfall to the stadium because there was no proper transport. It's shocking.
It's terrible, but I mean, the last couple of days now, 2-3 days now, they seem to have gotten things in order, but it still doesn't shy away from the fact that this is Africa's premium competition in track and field. The last few weeks, we saw the European Championship, and perhaps only the World Championships comes close to it, and we saw the sort of glamour and glitz it's gathered. But for Africa, the home of even the president of the Confederation of African Athletics, Cal come up there, and he's still not been able to give us a very good show. But regardless, Nigeria put up a good team. I had my reservations about the team that went there. I personally felt some of the athletes that should go or that went there should not have gone, considering that the Olympics is just less than a month away and they need to be in premium shape, especially the college athletes. They've had a very rigorous season. They came from the NCAA in the first week of June. They flew to Benin for the national trials. Then you're also competing again at the African Championship. There's no way it's going to take a toll on you. Take, for example, Ese Brume. He could even make it to the final of the men's 100 meters running at 10.5 seconds. This is a 9 seconds runner or a sub 10 seconds runner on a very good day. So it's obviously taking its toll on him. Some of them are injured. And these are athletes that we should keep in premium shape ahead of the Olympics, knowing fully well that they are based in college and their own schedule is different. For the professional ones, like Udodi, like Toby Amuson, like Ese Brume, like Favour Fili, those ones already have a different schedule. So, I mean, from day one, likes of Ofili, the likes of Rosemary already pulled out of the championships. They had their personal reasons for it, perhaps because of the organization. Some of them still stood back. Likes of Toby Amuson fell ill on day one. From the way they went through the journey from Nigeria to Cameroon was also another story to write. Was not a story to write home about. She fell sick. She was able to gather herself and compete for Nigeria in the relays, which she talked about winning gold for Nigeria. I remember her anchoring Nigeria in Mauritius exactly 2 years ago to win gold. But it's beyond what we can do in Africa. Obviously, the pinnacle is the Olympics. What strategy are we putting in place to ensure that these girls, or we have a solid team of performers that can give us what we want in Paris? And from what I have seen so far, I have my reservations.
Okay. Yeah. Toby, you have a question?
Deji, you know, one thing is that I agree with you when you say that probably some athletes should not have been a part of this tournament. However, going forward, what is the best way for our athletes? Because we do have a good number of foreign-based athletes. And for the local-based athletes, this is a platform for them to, number one, improve their form and to actually prove that, you know what, they deserve to be in Paris as well. So what is the way forward? How do we find a way to blend a good schedule for both the foreign-based athletes and the local athletes?
So it's an African problem, and it's not immune to track and field alone. I'm sure you'd see it with football, where Africa is having to adjust its own schedule to the world calendar. We just saw the Africa Cup of Nations being moved because of the FIFA Club World Cup, right? Now you're having the Olympics coming up in less than a month's time. Typically, they should have perhaps organized the African Championships in the first week of June, or perhaps in late May, to give some of these athletes a chance to prepare themselves, and where most of these top meets are being held, they can compete, right? That's first of all. Second of all, perhaps 80% of our best legs are in college, and they're doing well for themselves. it obviously coincides with when they are competing in the NCAA finals, which already has its own schedule. And that's the price we have to pay for outsourcing the development of these athletes to the United States collegiate system. They're doing well for themselves. We only have 4 athletes that are at the top of their game when it comes to running and competing professionally. 4 of them, Usheoritse in the 100 and 200 meters, Favour Ofili in the 100 and 200 meters, Tobi Amuso in the 100 hurdles, and Ese Brume. These are the athletes that we can say for sure can perhaps guarantee us a medal individually in Paris. But for the home-based athletes, a couple of them have competed at the African Games, have competed at the MTN Champs event, have competed at the MOC Grand Prix, and some meets in Nigeria, right? But this would have offered them an opportunity to also get a chance to qualify for the Olympics. So it's not all about winning, but you look at it from the federation's point of view, and they think they want to take their best legs to Douala and gather medal and get the whole accolades of the sports ministry, maybe get more money or get more funding for themselves, or perhaps get sponsors. I guess that's the way they're thinking. But ultimately, track is not like football, where in football, you could perhaps play games every 1 week or 2 weeks. You might not necessarily get so fatigued, but the recovery rates of athletes are different. You can't run every single week as a professional athlete. It's going to take a toll on you. And you see someone like Chidi Okezie is struggling to even get to the final of the men's 400 meters. This is someone that's very good for 44 seconds runner in the 400 meters. But he flew from Canada to Benin, from Benin. He's going
if I understand you, you're pretty much saying that this was pretty much of a short-sighted decision by the AFN instead of looking more long-term as against the Olympics, or well, do I say more longer term than the Olympics, taking some athletes from Nigeria here who could have stood a chance to qualify for the Olympics in Yaoundé, as against taking up the big boys, parading them as Africa's finest athletes, winning gold medals and whatever. It would have been a better strategy in your opinion. But finally, before we let you go, Deji, has your opinion changed? Do we still have a possibility of winning a medal in track and field apart from Tobi Amuso, who we still regard as our finest individual medal hopeful, Ese Brume as well, and possibly the relays? Anybody else that you see might break into this?
I mean, you already outlined it. That's the reality. Tobi is still a sure bet to win a medal. The other ones are still permutation. And judging by what I've seen with the relay team in Douala, I have my reservations about their chances. If we don't get the training camp right, which I heard or I'm hearing now that might even be called off, it's meant to be in Germany from the first week of July, where all the athletes that have qualified for the Olympics are in close camping. We should have a relay squad that would perhaps have 2 weeks of proper training and having that synergy as a team to ensure that they give us the best of times. I'll perhaps go on the limb and say that the men's 4x4 stands a very good chance to get a medal, but it also depends on the shape they are in and the sort of form and how they've rested well over a period of time. That's absolutely key. You see people like Akande Simbine, Ferdinand Omanyala, Faith Kipyego. These are top stars for Africa. They were not at these African Games because they know the ultimate is the Olympics, right? And they need to get their body shape for that. Tebogo is only competing there because of he's not competed in over a month. He lost his mother, so he's not been on the circuit. He needs to get his body in shape. And just a few of other athletes. But you look at South Africa, they didn't come with their top weight, right? Same thing with the Kenyans. They literally came with a beating. The Ethiopians would not come with Letsile Tebogo or Gudaf Segei. These are top athletes that are true Olympic or football. For Nigeria, I still don't understand the rationale. Tobi Amuso, as much as I love her dedication to Nigeria and wanting to be there every time, she should not in any way be at this African Championships. As sad as it is to say, right? But if we are to sacrifice the African Championships for the Olympics, I just
that would be the bigger and better sacrifice, bigger and better bargain. I totally agree. Deji Ogeyingbo, who is the country manager of Making of Champions, thank you so much again for joining us tonight, letting us your expertise on Nigerian athletics. And I tend to agree with you. I think it might have been a short-sighted decision on the part of the AFN as against looking forward towards the Olympic Games. But thank you so much, Deji. Always a pleasure having you on the show.